Good evening, everyone. How we doing? It's quite different the live stream. That's fine there, yeah. It's quite different with this big cup of jug here. Used to be able to go straight up to the computer. Now I can't really because there's wires and stuff here. So it's a nuisance. This is actually massive. I don't know if you can tell, but it is literally massive. There's supposed to be a mirror there, but I don't want the mirror. But yeah, it's a massive table compared to what I used to have. Like quite literally where I'm sitting at the moment. That's where my table used to be. Here. And there's another 2 levels nearly. It's insane. But yeah, moving myself a bit closer because I have to actually nearly go into the computer to see what I'm doing. But I think everything's fine anyway. I think I said we're a few minutes early. I did say half. But yeah. Yeah. There we go. Let me see. I forgot my music. That's one thing I forgot. I knew I forgot something. Let me see. Excuse me. Where would have been? Where's my one? So I'm looking for my playlist now. I knew I forgot something. One moment. Go looking through everything now. Where was the music that you should listen to? Oh, God only knows. But I hate these ads. My God. Let's see. Like YouTube ads are just insane at the moment. There's literally one for about 50 minutes, 30 minutes. Like if you literally cut some just YouTube ads, if you let them play all the time. Like YouTube doesn't need them, you know. They do it anyway. Let's put that way. Let's see. Just want to check. Let's see. Almost heaven, West Virginia. Don't know why I'm thinking about that song. Well, in the name of God, am I now? Just want to check my stuff here. Make sure everything we're good and Gucci. We are fine. Yeah, everything seems to be fine. So great stuff. Let me see. So we just had a change up in here. Oh, what am I doing? Pressing wrong buttons. Let me see. That might be just a bit too loud too. Everything's a mess today. Let me see. Just turn it down. Yeah, that's another one. Another one. So yeah, a good bit. Well, I suppose when I mean a good bit, there's a bit. There's not overly too much, of course, but there's a bit. I was reading an article just before I went live. A security guard jailed for sexual assault on a woman traveling to Cotswold on Lewis. Presumably, he was working for Transport for Ireland because he was operating on the Lewis, security guard in the Lewis. And obviously, he's non. He doesn't seem to be an Irish citizen. And obviously, he only got 8 months. Great stuff. 8 months for sexually assaulting somebody. Boarded the tram with bus hours to the Luton station. Yeah, 8 months, great stuff. Justice really works in this country. Um, doesn't seem to be Irish, so he probably should be sent home if he doesn't have Irish citizenship. What is this now? Bong chap. Let me see. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about this. Well, they should be talking, of course. Um, there's not really much news. Like, there's not really much to say. Does he have an Irish passport or is he an Irish citizen? Yeah, this woman's distraught by just going out and about now because of this incident. And 8 months is the only thing the judge could do. Mighty judges in this country. Let me see now. So there was a tense scene outside Leicester House today. Uh, I think there was a protest about immigration. Only small one, like a cent or something. So the former Green Party TD Paul Goldie basically called everybody far white that was at that protest. Good way to go. Just label everybody far white and don't answer any questions. Great stuff. Um, always the way to go. Um, um, it seems to be the modern trope of society. If you don't agree with anything, just call far white. Like we probably should talk about that eventually. Um, how everything in the media and the politicians straight away assumes anything's wrong with them far white, because they're just the far white everything. The far white is everywhere, pretty much to them. Uh, which sounds insane, but it is reality. Because Paul Goatee is literally seeing people, everybody in front of him is far white. So pretty much they're in the room with him. What I mean by that is he's seeing people that don't exist in a way too, who are far white. Really outdoing themselves. Um, Paul Goatee. Uh, Let me see. Sorry, give me a moment. But yeah, there's that much more we could talk about. We probably should talk about this fella in Monaghan at the moment. His things he's up to. Um, so yeah. So originally I thought he was an Irish man, but apparently he's a Latvian. Like he's from Latvia, and he's on disabilities and stuff. I don't know why he's here. Um, there must be a reason. Nobody said why he was let into the country, but presumably, probably didn't work a day in his life. for some money. So I don't know. He's 57, and he's not a young person. So I don't know what's the story there. Hello, Tony. Good evening. How we doing? False gods. Well, look, everybody can't be controlled opposition, if that makes any sense. There's definitely probably some, of course, but not everybody could be for a controlled opposition. If that makes any sense. I know there's probably some. Um, if that makes any sense, what I just said. Hello, Miss. How are you doing? Good evening. How are we doing? Hope we're well this evening. It's a tower. It's Wednesday already. Tomorrow is Thursday, and then Friday. In the one part. Well, I think a lot of people just go in their own part nowadays. They're not kind of going into groups. They're kind of just doing it among themselves, protests and stuff. So far, well, that's good to hear. Hanging in so far, because that's basically what everybody is doing, just hanging in there. What are you talking about? I'm not. What are you sure? What are you talking about? Some party? I don't know about it, unfortunately. I wasn't invited, so that way. What are you referring to? Sorry, because I actually don't know, to be totally honest with you. Am I long here? I'm here about on live here. I'm only about 12 minutes or so. Yeah. I think the notifications didn't go out and stuff, so I suppose it doesn't really matter. But I don't think the notifications went out, and that's why you probably didn't get notifications. Did you just get notifications? Exactly. So as I was saying, I just mentioned this, and I'm here. We have a new Lord Mayor Cavan, the usual carry-on. So John Podfeelan now is the here looked, pretty much the Lord Mayor Cavan. So pretty much again, he was already before, and he's again already the Lord Mayor. It doesn't make much difference to anybody, but just thought I'd mention it. Oh, you were asleep, Tony? I wouldn't blame you, because having a small snooze now and again, it's supposed to be good for you. Having a snooze in the evening time after work and stuff. There was something else I was going to show you. I can't remember now what it is. I will not show you, but talk about. Wonder where that. Oh yeah, where is that now? Sorry, give me a moment. I had it there a second ago, and I clicked off the page. I wouldn't mind, but it was waiting for me, and then I clicked off the page. So apparently, there's going to be bad weather now the next day or two. Where in the name of God? So there's a priest from Monaghan. I just have to read up on the bit of it myself to make sure I'm like sticking to the facts, I suppose. So there's a priest from Monaghan that's convicted of sexually assaulting 4 boys uh, in Enniskillen back a few years ago. Yeah, between 1978 and 1989. The priest is still alive, 70-year-old now. Uh, it's very how an ordeal these young boys were through. Um, I'm not even going to try and mention it. Yeah, I'm not even going to. Yeah, I'm not even going to say what he did to these boys because some of the accounts are very, very sickening. But definitely evil man. Um, they used his power as a priest, as a position of trust, to abuse these and sexually assault and torture these young boys, ruin their life pretty much. I hope he rots in hell when his time comes. Um, so I hope he spends eternity in hell. Um, he's a priest. He's a Monaghan priest. What's his name exactly? Patrick McInerney. Yeah, Patrick McInerney. Was dreaming about Kerry. You want to go on holidays to Kerry, Tony. But yeah, an evil priest. Did you get notifications? Just to ask you too, because I don't think anybody got notifications. Because see, the problem I had today is I scheduled the stream, so it was my own fault for scheduling it because I shouldn't probably schedule it. But no use. How are you doing? Good evening. Hope we're well this evening. So we move on to what's happening in Northern Ireland at the moment, in Ballymena specifically. Now, there's a lot of disorder. At the start, though, I wasn't following the tea. I know it's happening, but I haven't followed them. So yeah, there's been a lot of trouble in Ballymena in Northern Ireland at the moment. There's 33 officers, PSNI members injured. There's I think 3 or 4 houses burned. Many cars were probably burned. I think a lot of damage has been done. But PSNI seeks reinforcements from the mainland of Britain. This is all to do with 2 Romanians, allegedly, I think raping a child or sexually abusing a child. I think it's a boy attacked. So a huge amount of trouble after this. Ballymena in County Down, isn't it? In County Down, Northern Ireland. Isn't it in County Down? Am I wrong? County Antrim, sorry. I thought it was in Down, sorry. It's in Antrim. So there's a lot of trouble. So yeah, it's the second night of riots. We're not riot. I suppose you would call them riots, in a way. In a way, let me see. How would I put it? It's not technically like severe riots, what we're seeing in LA, looting and stuff like that. But there's still the cars being burned and houses being burned. So technically, you would still call them riots. I think technically. Yeah, it's not actually that far away from Dad and the Man. Well, I suppose it's a bit where this is happening. Oh, I'm sure they heard me before talk about Cavan's victory over in New York. But anyway, I can't take the whole details. Obviously, it wasn't there, so you know. Also, apparently, the fellow in the Carlo shooting in Carlo just a few weeks ago. Apparently, the Gardaí before made a controlled delivery, whatever that means. Pretty much they were setting this fellow up um, with a gun, and then they got him before, and then obviously he stole the gun after that um, to do the shooting and Carter to shoot himself pretty much. Um, that seems to be what they're saying at the moment. Could be wrong, but that seems to be what's been said. It came out of the public. It came out of the Oireachtas. The Labour fellow Alan Kelly was asking the Garda Commissioner. Also, the Garda Commissioner only has another 2 months or so before he's gone. The Garda Commissioner Drew Harris. Don't know who's going to replace him. I suppose we might know soon who will replace Drew Harris. Probably be somebody that's 10 times worse. I don't know. Could they be worse? But probably will. You're doing the dishes. I didn't even see that. You're doing the dishes, but yeah. Also, the weather's been very good today. It's given bad for tomorrow, as I said earlier on. It's given thunder and lightning and heavy downpours of rain. You can probably see that. You can tell where I got a suntan anyway. You can see when you're out walking outside, you get a suntan, but you can tell the difference if you look at this part of my arm here compared to this part. You can see the difference. Can you see the difference? Like it's a farmer's tan. That's what they call it. But you can tell the difference. But yeah, that's going to change. It's not going to be good weather now for the next week or so. Like all weekend, it's not giving great here. Yesterday and today are pretty much the only good days we're probably going to have. I say it's going to be fucking miserable tomorrow. Like it is really going to be miserable. I think. Meetings. And then obviously lightning and the thunder and the whole shebang. The whole shebang. The shebang. No. So yeah, Greta Thunberg. A lot of people are talking about Greta Thunberg at the moment. Basically went on the yacht. To Israel, I suppose Gaza too. And obviously didn't get there, obviously, because the Israeli government stopped them. And took them off the yacht and seized the yacht. And basically took them off the yacht and put them back on a plane and sent them home, pretty much. Hello, Brett. How are we doing? But yeah, pretty much that's what happened to Greta Thunberg. Now, you can make many arguments about them being international water, because technically they were in Israeli waters. Whatever you have to say about Greta Thunberg, I suppose, in a way. And then obviously the rules of war state too, that hospital ships and aid ships cannot be pretty much targeted or kind of intercepted like that, I suppose. But like we could argue to the cows come home, I suppose, about that. You should be a farmer's daughter. You should check her out. No, I'm fine, thank you. I never was really much into the farming. I know people like around the country think when you hear from Cavan, you're a farmer. or something like that. I never was into the farm. I know there's so many young people who are into the farming around here. It just never was my cup of tea. Um, See, I didn't grow up on a farm and stuff. Maybe if I did, I would have probably been more into farming and stuff like that. But um, like I think everything just lagged. Can you still hear me and stuff? Um, you can still hear me because I think we're lagged for a second. I don't know if we're still here. I don't know. Everything just went blank for a second. Like everything just it's like something just I think it was didn't it or something. Must have just lost a connection for a second. I was still here. I can see my chat on, which is a good thing. But I don't know if it's still live. I had checked myself here. Apologies for that. That happened actually once before. I don't know, was it something to do with YouTube? Was it something to do with because it did happen before. The same thing happened. Well, actually, when I came back from Finland a few weeks ago, actually. I came back from Finland. I hear myself. Hearing myself is always a good thing when you're listening to yourself. Yeah, we probably lost a few people because of that, but it doesn't matter. Oh no, we're not. We're not good. I seen your comment on the YouTube video. I'm not even going to address that. Let's put it that way. I'm not even going to try and talk to you about that. It's going to be a quiet stream man tonight. Was there anything else? Yeah, as I said about this Monaghan man, I probably will do a video because I have to do a video anyway, talking about free legal aid and stuff. I'm in Tapway. Apparently, I'm back in Finland. Everybody thinks, I don't think I'm back in Finland. Tony thinks that too. He thought I was in Finland again. Alan, shut up. Great stuff. But hello, everyone. I don't know if I said that, but hello. Hope we're well this evening. Let me see. I'm not even going to address Tony's comment that he made there too, just to say if anybody comes in, just say, what's this all about? I thought we were gone there for a second. I probably should stop clicking, around, like playing with a mouse, I suppose. That sounds a bit dangerous, but one moment, I have to just do something. It's always a nuisance to try and sort stuff out on a live stream. How many? Oh, you mean there's very few. There's nobody, pretty much. Many reasons. As I keep saying to you, it's the weather, pretty much. It's too cold weather. There's a few here and there, but not as bad as Dublin. No, it's there. But it's still, but it's the weather and stuff. That's pretty much it. And not even, as I said to you before, I think if the Russians come, a lot of them not too keen to fight the Russians. Because if the Russians did come in the morning to Finland, it'd be military conscription for all men. And you have to kind of go and fight. You have no choice in the matter. So a lot of them don't really want to do that. And many other reasons. But yeah. But it's, as I was just saying too, we have to look at the legal aid system in this country in terms of people who commit a crime when they get free legal aid paid for by you and me, the taxpayer. We have to kind of look at that because there's too many people getting free legal aid and they've never done a day's work in their life. Um, I'd seen not recently, but about a year ago, there was an Irish fellow, and he had 30 convictions for various different things, but pretty much he's always in trouble with the law if he has 30 convictions. And pretty much all them 30 times, the Irish taxpayer had to flip the bill for him, and obviously he's on social welfare. So the Irish taxpayer has to flip the bill for him to go to court with a public appointed attorney to represent them. It's something like it's about 100 and something thousand, 130,000 or something that was spent on that fellow alone after breaking the law 30 times. And it's the same with the situation at the moment in Monaghan with this fellow for human trafficking. He's a Latvian. He's on disabilities. I don't know how long he's in the country. We don't know that yet. But he probably shouldn't be on disabilities. He probably should be sent home first of all. But obviously they face charges for human trafficking. But he's getting free legal aid too. So I don't know why he's on disabilities. He's 57. I know he's not a young man, but he probably shouldn't be on this. Because there's people I know who are you nearly have to be dying to get on disabilities. So I don't know how he got onto it. So there's a lot of questions about that now tonight. Because literally, there's people literally dying, and they can't even get on the sick or on different things. Like you generally nearly have to be dying to get on sick or the disabilities. That's just the way the country is. Yeah, but I'm talking about like I know there's some people like that here that want to kind of go back in because they get everything free. But there is a thing too where people are getting free legal. I'm talking about the free legal aid bit of it. Like, say for example, I don't mind. Like, I make a video talking about it, but it probably be very controversial. My opinion, I suppose, on it because it's changed. Like in general, I think people should have legal aid in terms of public, a lawyer or solicitor to represent them. But I don't agree with the fellow that broke the law 30 times. There's 30 criminal convictions. And the Irish taxpayers spend 100,000 on his defence and him breaking the law all the time, pretty much, and going in and out of prison all the time. I don't think the Irish taxpayer should have to pay for that. Yeah, like it's a thing here. It's always been a thing. But the Irish Constitution is very clear. You're allowed to have free legal aid and attorney present, etc., etc., attorney's advice. But unfortunately, it's been abused. Because as I said, that man, even though he's Irish, this is a few years ago, he's 30 criminal convictions. There's over 130,000 that you and I have to pay for his defence. And I don't think that's right. Whatever, but maybe one or two or three convictions, you may be entitled to legal aid. But I don't think 30 kind of like criminal convictions should be paying for it. Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier on. To my shock, that he, 8 months, like 8 months, it should be more because the poor woman's terrified to go anywhere now on public transport or anything. But yeah, the judge, 8 months, here you go. You probably get out in 3 months' time for good behaviour. So it's just the country we live in, unfortunately. He should probably be going home, but But yeah, as I say, I don't know. Did he get? I don't know. Did he get free legal aid? He probably did. I don't know. Do you know that bit? I know what you're talking about. We were just talking about it earlier on. But I don't know. Did he get free legal aid if he was working as a Lewis security guard? Presumably, he wouldn't need to get free legal aid off the Irish taxpayer. But we do have to look at legal aid. I'm not saying in general people should have legal representation, but it's the fact of the matter in cases like I just said. The question on who knows, like you probably it's all to do with, as I say, you've seen the video yesterday in the GDP, like you see Indians on YouTube talking about Ireland's money, big money and stuff like that. The look at the GDP. Oh, look at all the GDP they have. Time to go to Ireland. Like I've seen Indian YouTubers talk about Ireland has a huge amount of money for doctors and stuff. like you see them on YouTube all the time. Like they're looking at the GDP statistic, taking it down, and it's a great wealthy country. Um, but yeah, I probably would do a video on the legal age. Now, I know some people disagree, but I do think we should probably not give anybody free legal aid after they commit about 5 offences throughout their lifetime, pretty much. Um, I don't think we should. Yeah, I see that all the time. I see it all the time. Well, not even loopholes. It's plain and simple, really, in this country. You don't really need the loopholes. You just kind of turn up. That's no such thing as a loophole. You just kind of turn up and then set to go. Pretty much. That's pretty much it. Um, but yeah, no, they follow them on YouTube. I should become one of them maybe at this stage to get the views. Um, it's more Indians than Nigerians I've seen, and some Pakistanis too. Um, but yeah, the only people too I think should only get free legal aid is if you're working. Like if you're working and you can't afford representation. If you have your weak job, but I don't think people on social welfare and stuff should get free legal aid. Um, that's what I take too. But I don't know. You could argue about different points. Um, but I suppose it depends how long they want it too. Social welfare. If they're 50 years on it, you probably shouldn't be getting free legal aid. Um, but I probably will talk about it in the video because it's something that does need to be addressed. Because I do think the system, like when it was first created, like you're allowed to have legal representation and free legal aid stuff. In theory, that sounds all well and good, but unfortunately, it is being abused, and that's the sad reality. Um, so, um, yeah, because it is being abused terribly. Let me see. Sorry, give me a moment. So yeah, there's more protests in Ballymena in County Antrim. I said it was in Down. It's in Antrim. So it looks like there's going to be another night of violence in Ballymena. Seems to be going to be another night of violence. So that doesn't look great. Um, Not to mention in the United States, in Los Angeles, the trouble there at the moment. Yeah, just going to actually speak about Los Angeles for a second. Uh, it's a huge amount of trouble. Um, it's quite insane when you really think about it. The amount of trouble that's been caused in Los Angeles. Um, like just seeing here, like looking at videos and stuff online, uh, like there's a lot of damage to shops and there's a lot of damage to graffiti, etc., etc. It's a huge amount of damage. Um, but yeah, like it does seem like there's a lot of people coming from other parts of the United States into Los Angeles. Like this, how would you put it? Like people traveling to cause trouble in Los Angeles. Uh, I don't know what word. How do you describe them? I can't think of the word. But actors, I suppose, bad actors, you could call them too. Apparently, there's going to be a strawberry moon tonight. Apparently so. So they say. Allegedly, of course, too. I have to always say allegedly. The mainstream media might get very upset if it didn't happen. You could be spreading misinformation. We couldn't have that. So yeah, just going back to that fella that's the Lewis security guard. It was Judge Martin Nolan again. Of course, it's Judge Martin Nolan. Who else could it be? Like Judge Martin Nolan is now for habit of doing this, letting people off with a slap in the wrist. So why am I not surprised? Like Judge Martin Nolan should probably be in prison. To be totally honest. Let's see. What is this now? Sorry. Great stuff. Sweeping fare changes are introduced next week for bus airline. Great stuff. More money. What does this mean? Sorry, give me a second. And bus airline, yeah. Some decreasing and some increasing. Travelling by bus between Dublin and parts of Kildare, Louth, Meath, and Wicklow. The National Transport Authority has changed. Yeah. So pretty much, it only really affects Dublin, really, so much. Yeah. Yeah. So pretty much, a lot of it's going up. Great stuff. Mighty stuff. We want people to use public transport, yeah. But then we're going to charge more. Yeah, like I probably should be in prison, Judge Martin. That's the ice cream photo coming up very soon. It's in the works. Where the fuck am I now? Sorry, excuse my language. Oh yeah, the Healy Ways. I'm at the top of the Healy Ways. Give me a moment. So our good friends, the Healy Ways. Mikey Healy Way and Danny Healy Way. So the Healy Ways, for housing refugees, they've housed supposedly Ukrainian refugees, supposedly, made €840,000 in profits over the last 2 years. From housing, just from the last 2 years alone, you could say, for argument's sake, €900,000. And that's only what we probably know. Let's be honest, that's what we know. So pretty much Mikey Healy Way is making a lot of money from housing these refugees. It's a lot of money, 840,000 for 2 years. Very good money. He doesn't really need it too. But yeah, so the Healy Ways are making bank. Gumbean, yes, exactly. And not bother recording that video tonight. I'll leave it to tomorrow. There's another video that could go up, but I'll leave it too. But yeah, no, it's an insane amount of money when you really think about it. 800,000, nearly 900,000. You could argue, for the sake of arguments, it's about 900,000, which is a lot of money. Oh, I don't even want to think about that question. What's Ireland going to be like? Um, I dread the take, to be totally honest, what it's going to be like. I dread the take what it's going to be like in a year's time. Let known in 10 years. But I don't think it'll be much better. Unfortunately, that's the one thing I can tell you for certain. It's not going to be much better. Uh, I wish I could tell you that one too, but who knows at this stage. But people are getting really sick and tired of the whole lot of it. Like, people are really sick and tired of it. So I don't know when it's going to end. The one thing I say at the moment about Conor McGregor and stuff, he's done with the presidency and stuff. So Conor McGregor is making well, let me just get them up so I know what I'm talking about. Conor McGregor's coming out with all sorts of stuff on Twitter at the moment. Now, just to mention straight off the bat, the Irish presidency, like, he's getting very confused, in my opinion, Conor McGregor, on what the powers of the Irish presidency is. Like, the Irish presidency, you can pretty much do nothing. The only thing you really have a say in is the what do you call it? The laws, I suppose, the land. But you can really do nothing else as the president of Ireland. Like, you literally can't really do much. Like, Conor McGregor has said, this is June the 6th, that when former President Mary Robinson kickstarted Ireland's open borders policy, but straight away, to be totally honest, we all know. Hello, Fiona. Straight away, we all know this is a lie. It pretty much is a lie that Mary Robinson, as the president, um, doesn't have a say. Even as Michael Higgins is president of Ireland now, has no say in the immigration policy. It's the government's policy. The presidency has no role in that. Pretty much there's no way of stopping it. Pretty much. Because the only thing that really can stop is laws being passed and stuff. That's the only thing you can do. But the presidency, you can't do anything about it. Hello, E.T. Eto. How are you doing? Good evening. How are we doing? Hope we're having a good Wednesday evening. But I do think Conor McGregor's a bit not understanding, because the Constitution clearly states it that. Yeah, there seems going to be more trouble tonight. Yeah, just seeing that literally there 5 minutes ago. That there's probably will be more trouble tonight. There's protests planned and stuff, and so it seems like to be more trouble. Uh, yeah, it seems that there's going to be more trouble because the tensions are very high in some areas. Yeah, it's quite a bit of trouble in Northern Ireland, especially when you see them having to want to get more reinforcements. Yeah, LA is the same. Yeah, it's bad in LA. Not so much New York. I know what you're saying about New York and Chicago. There's some trouble there, but it's pretty bad. But it's calmed down a bit in LA, because the National Guard was set in and some United States Marines and stuff. So it's not as bad as it was. The first few nights was terrible. What was happening in LA. The thing about it is, I suppose, just speaking on LA for a second, the governor and didn't want the National Guard being deployed. Um, love the music. It's very calm music. It's good for these things. Good. Yeah, well, there's paramilitary elements to this protest. Uh, there's paramilitary loyalist groups involved in these protests. They're not like the nationalist community, but the loyalist groups. That's the kind of an element of that there. That makes any sense. Long enough, 14 years. That's a long time. It's a long time. 14 years. Every 7 years is the presidential election here. But again, the reason why it's every 7 years, and again, I think Conor McGregor doesn't understand this. There's a reason why it's 7 years because the presidency doesn't really do much, pretty much. They don't really do anything. As they're on the here and president of Ireland. You do very little, pretty much. There's not really nothing to be elected. You can't be elected to do anything. It's different in America. You have huge powers. There's the president of the United States. Even the president of the Republic of Finland, where I just was, you have a lot more power than the president here. The Irish Constitution says it very clearly the president has no really authority. The separation of powers, obviously, Shannon there and Dáil and they're the separation of powers. There's where the majority power is. Yeah, well, that's happening as we speak. Like as we speak now, like literally up and down the whole island of Ireland, there's protests happening in different parts of the country. We don't hear about them, but they are happening. Like the small community ones, but it is happening. Yeah, LA is completely different. Yeah, I understand that. Don't take them, bundle them into the same hole, but it's still public disorder, I suppose you would say. But yeah, um, yeah, I know. Um, yeah, so we won't find it now until the presidential election. That's what I'm going to say. Because there's no fan, but does anybody know that the Irish government haven't set a date? So what day do we think it's going to be on? I suppose is the next question in November. Um, I wonder what day they're going to have it on. I wish they would tell us what day it's going to be. Um, I presume it would be because the presidential. Hang on a second. The 11th, Michael D. Higgins has to be gone by the 11th. The Constitution says that it's up until some point. It's the 11th of November. I think the election has to be held for. So it's sometime early November. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, the ministers and high up civil servants are getting overpaid in pensions. Overpaid. Imagine that. Great stuff. Imagine amazing stuff. Why, as you say, yourself, elderly people being left to what? But the politicians and stuff get a double, get extra money. Great stuff. Mighty country. Double the pay and stuff for pensions and stuff for politicians and senior civil servants. Mighty stuff. So we don't really know, because I know everybody's already talking about the presidential election here coming up. So we don't really know who exactly is going for the presidency, who else is going for the presidency. Give me a moment, sorry, I'm just waiting something here. Oh yeah, of course. And I don't think anybody agrees with what's happening in Palestine. Like it quite literally is genocide. Uh, like it pretty much is. Like let's be fair. Like so many innocent people being killed. There's 52,000 children. There not 52,000 people dead, and the majority are children. Like the majority are children, young children, babies. Uh, so it quite literally is. And everything just, it's evil. Hello, Gordon. How are we doing? Sorry, I meant to say hello. I don't know. You probably were here for the last few minutes. But no, it is evil what's happening. But it's more about like what I'm trying to say is the United States of America uh, should be the people that's very like should be hanging their heads in shame really, uh, because the United States of America could stop it overnight if they wanted to. In terms of stop because again the United States of America is supposed to be the world police pretty much to stop conflicts and stuff like that. But it's the same with Ukraine. Donald Trump is not doing a good enough job in stopping the conflict in Ukraine too. And again, so many innocent people being killed on every side, and even only soldiers have been killed, and families have been left without brothers, without fathers, without wives, without their husbands. It's simply awful stuff. And the United States of America is doing nothing really to stop it. Because the only country really that can negotiate anything, like a peace settlement and stuff, is the United States of America, um, as the world police, pretty much. Um, but again, war is a good business for the military-industrial complexes, and that's all it's about. It's the military-industrial complexes. The money keeps flowing, the bodies keep piling up, and the money keeps flowing for the elite, not for the only American citizen, not for the only Israeli citizen, not for the only Gaza citizen, not for any citizen of the world. It's only for the top 1% of many societies, and that's the sad thing about it. Is uh, nobody's winning from this. That's what I'm trying to say. Apart from a very small group of people, um, that's really it. Nobody else is winning. Only people not you know not not benefiting. Nobody's benefiting because people being killed. Yeah, well, it's clear that the Israeli state doesn't like Ireland, particularly Ireland, or whatever Sweden. They don't. It's particularly the homed in Ireland. They particularly hate Ireland. It was said to me over in Finland many times. I said it before that many people talk to me about Palestine over in Finland because the Finnish government have kind of taken the narrative, let's bury our head into the sand and hope it goes away. And that's pretty much the Finnish government's narrative, uh, that we're going to basically pretend nothing's happening and say nothing pretty much, which helps nothing, but pretty much achieves nothing for nobody because pretending it doesn't exist benefits nobody and benefits nothing because it causes more suffering in the long term. Uh, you know, um, but the position of the Irish people and the Irish should be the position of the Irish people and the Irish state is that we want peace in Ukraine and Russia. We want peace in the Middle East. We want peace in every country. Um, we don't want people to be dying in conflicts and stuff like that. That's the whole idea of Ireland being a United Nations peacekeeper type of stuff. Ireland has a long tradition of United Nations peacekeeping and keeping the peace, promoting stability, promoting peace and truth, and understanding in the world. Um, so Ireland's been a long, long fight of that. Um, tell you, I find this bones on my hand. Um, well, not my hand. My there you can find. I can find the bone of it. Eh, Thai food? No, I never tried Thai food. Oh, I don't know about Syria now. To be totally, but maybe Libya. Gaddafi didn't seem to be too bad, but I don't know about Syria now. Some of the prisons and stuff like that were pretty awful. Um, so I don't know. To be totally, and I don't know. And again, the regime that's in at the moment, I don't know about them either. To be totally honest, in my opinion, I don't know about them too in Syria. If that makes any sense. But it did seem like Gaddafi wasn't too bad in terms of that. He might have been badish, but I don't know the regime that's in Syria at the moment. I don't know if they're better than the former leader or the worse. It's hard to know. Um, but again, the only thing the Irish people hope for is that there be peace in Syria too, and that there be some form of stability and some form of return to normal. Um, that's what the Irish people hope for Syria, um, and hopefully so. Yeah, we hope it happens, but it might be a fake possibility. Um, apparently, the U.S. Army is evacuating Iraq. So it seems, I might be wrong, but apparently they are leaving Iraq. So it seems. I might be wrong, but that seems to be what's been said. Yeah, well, the only reason how Assad fell because his allies, Russia and Iran, were too busy doing their own thing to come and help Assad, pretty much. Like Russia and Ukraine, and then obviously Iran with Israel and all that. So they were too busy doing their own stuff to come and save Assad. And that's pretty much how it fell because they didn't really have the support of their allies, and that's pretty much what happened. Yeah, like the apparently I don't know much about it, just seen it pop up there that the U.S. Army, the U.S. Embassy in Iraq is being evacuated. Apparently, don't quote me on that, but that seems to be what it says here. I try and find something out of that now because I just seen it literally there 2 seconds ago. So I don't know much more than that. I try and see what I can find out. I don't know myself. I only seen what came up there. But let me see. Yeah, this is from Radio Television. U.S. prepared to evacuate embassy in Iraq. Yeah. Along with its military forces. So they must have some intelligence that something's happening in Iraq. Uh, don't ask me why. It doesn't clearly state why. Don't know. It doesn't really say what's happening. It's too hot. Yeah, it's hot here today, but it's going to be raining the next few days. So it's not going to be great weather here from tomorrow, pretty much. It's given thunder and lightning and stuff. It's not going to be great weather here. Hmm. So it seems just reading up on the U.S. Army, well, not the U.S. Army, the U.S. diplomatic staff in Iraq. It seems to be. It's not the U.S. Army. It's the diplomats, pretty much, in Iraq. So it seems like they are afraid that the talks, because there's talks going on between Iran and the United States on the nuclear program. Iran is very close to nuclear weapons, literally weapons of mass destruction. Um, the rich in uranium. Uranium is used to make atomic bombs and nuclear bombs too. So they're pretty much in the final processes of getting a nuclear weapon, Iran. And obviously the United States doesn't want that, and of course Israel doesn't want it. So that's what's happening at the moment. So that's presumably why they're doing that, because they think Iran will strike the US or whatever. Yeah, they did. They got away with a lot during 2003. They shouldn't have got away with it in what they did, because there was nothing found. There was quite literally nothing found. There was weapons of mass destruction, they said, but they found nothing. It'd be different if they had something to show. We found something, but they didn't find anything. It was just all forgotten about. And still, they should be up on trial for it. Whatever about Afghanistan, it's kind of understandable why they went into Afghanistan, but Iraq, they had really no need to go into Iraq because they had literally no weapons of mass destruction. They had literally nothing of any destruction to cause any damage. Like some of the Iraqi tanks that they had during the invasion in 2003 were from the Second World War. Like pretty much there was no such thing as weapons of mass destruction. Unless they know something we don't know, the only Joe doesn't know. But pretty much there was nothing ever found. As far the official report from the United States, they found nothing. So I don't know, but it shouldn't have happened enough. David Cameron, yeah, he's just disappeared. Same as Theresa May, nobody knows where she is nowadays. They just kind of disappeared. Yeah, it was just going after salmon. That's what the word pretty much is. And again, of course, the oil, America and the oil, because Iraq has a lot of oil, so we had to protect the oil. And that seems to be what they did. Because again, it would be different if I would be honest with you if they found something. But everything I looked at about the war in 2003, the invasion of Iraq, they pretty much found nothing. Like literally nothing. It'd be different if they did find something. I would tell you straight out they found something. But everything I read through, and I looked through lots of it, I watched loads of documentaries, looked at a lot of reports on Iraq. And all of them say they found pretty much nothing. So it was either it was pretty much they wanted the oil and wanted the leader of Iraq. I can't think of his name now, but they wanted him gone. Yeah, defended the one, but they probably would use. But the thing about it is, as an Irish perspective, they probably would use the WAN. They probably would. That's I suppose the fear too. In a lot of the parts of the West too, because they probably might use it. They probably could, because Iran doesn't get on well with Israel. So they probably would, use it against Israel. Probably. I could be wrong. Did I get a haircut? No, I got a shave. You're taking, but I didn't get a haircut. I need a haircut. But that's what I think they probably would do. Iran. I could be wrong, but they probably would. And as an Irish perspective, we don't want any nuclear. It'd be terrible for the humanity. If a nuclear bomb went off anywhere in the world, it'd be terrible. And especially such weapons of literally weapons of mass destruction. The damage would be untold to the planet, first of all, not even that to humanity. And then not even the casualties too would be immense, and then the radiation. Oh yeah, but we all know that. We'd always wanted to kind of be at Iran. And it's very clear they always wanted to, but but the only thing I hope for is a peaceful outcome, in whatever way, shape, or form, as long as there's a peaceful outcome, because we don't want another war. Because again, it would be terrible for the West, like Ireland, England, and stuff. Because if there was a war, say, in between Iran and the United States, there would be loads of refugees, and they'd be all coming to the West, Ireland, etc., etc. So it would only be bad. It'd be bad for everybody. People being killed, people fleeing war, coming to the West. It would all cause trouble for everybody, pretty much. What I'm trying to say, and then it cost so many people their lives too. That known refugees and stuff would cost thousands of people lives, and I think we should have left that 80 years ago. Yeah, but we don't want any wars. That's the thing, and that's the majority of people's opinion in Ireland, that we don't want any conflict in any part of the world. Because it pretty much, as I said earlier on, it benefits no one. It only benefits the 1%. That's it. It doesn't benefit anybody else. Because the only Joe loses their life and loses their loved ones. The 1% don't. They make money from it and stuff. I see the desk. Yeah, there's a new desk. It is quite big. We'll probably be getting rid of it. Because, see, I tell you about the story with it. When I went into your man to buy it, he didn't have it there. Like, he had to order it in, if that makes any sense. He had to go and order it in. So I only could see what he showed me on the phone. And obviously, it's very hard to judge how big a desk is on a phone, unless you see it in person. So he didn't have it in the shop. And I was like, it couldn't be that big. So it is pretty big. Like, it is pretty big. Like, the drawers are massive. The drawers are huge. Like, these are massive drawers, just to say. Absolutely massive. Um, like, it's more, like, my table used to be here. Now it's here, from the finished polymer. Well, quite literally, it's like one of the wooden desks they have, because it's big, huge oak wood, like heavy wood that they have in the desks, like in the dining room and stuff, and in the like in the parliament itself. All of them are very heavy, ton weight. Like, this was a nightmare to get up the stairs, just to say. It took 3 people. It took me and the 2 people that live on it, to bring it up, and it was a ton. It is a ton weight. Like, it is literally a ton weight. Like, it actually is just a ton weight. But it is very high. I didn't think it was going to be this high. Like, I have to kind of scooch over the desks to put stuff on it. Like, it probably shouldn't be this high. I was hoping to be only to here, but my other one was only here, so it's massive desk. So we'll probably be getting rid of it as soon as we can, to be totally honest with you. That's to be totally honest, to get a smaller one, a nice smaller one, because it is just far too big. I don't mind, like, I wanted the drawers. Like, the reason why the man said about this thing, because I was like, I want big drawers, and so the only thing he probably had there was, that he could order in was this massive yoke. Because I don't know, how big this yoke is. Yeah, there was a mirror with it too. Like, there's a mirror there too. You could put on too. Yeah, obviously there was a shooting in Austria yesterday. I think 9 students there, along with the suspect, I think, is dead too, who shot himself, and 1 teacher. Apart from that, I haven't heard anything else. They named the first victim there, but I don't know much more. So there is current trouble in Loughnan in County in Northern Ireland. There's been loads of trouble. Yeah, Loughnan in Northern Ireland. In where the fuck am I? Yeah, County Antrim. There's people breaking up the local leisure centre in Lawn and County Antrim. Just not too far away from Ballymun. Sorry, give me a moment. But apart from that, I haven't heard much else from Austria. So I don't know what was the story in Austria. I suppose it's too early to say yet what did occur in Austria. But obviously a huge tragedy. Um, because again, you think kids would be safe sitting in like in their classroom, in school. You think they would have been safe, but unfortunately nowadays, schools are not safe. Unfortunately, and it's a sad thing to say, but it's the truth. And it's nearly the same in this country, unfortunately too. Thankfully, it's not got to that level yet. Particularly because in Austria, you never really hear much about Austria. You hear in America a lot, but I don't think guns are widely a favour in Austria. Yeah, imagine but he was a student. It seemed to be. It seemed to be he was a student. As far as we know, we don't know. That's not 100% confirmed. So don't take it with a grain of salt. But I don't know. It's these people who do this kind of stuff are very very messed up. Uh, Very very messed up individuals who go in and just shoot children. Messed up beyond belief. Like quite literally evil. That's the word to describe it. But it's a hell. But here, look at lads and lassies. We probably nearly leave it there for tonight. Um, so, anything else before we go? What is this? Let me just check one more thing. Just give me a moment, so I just check this just to make sure I'm fine. Just need to make sure I'm doing that. Yeah, apologies. Sorry, give me a moment. Yeah, we're fine. Sorry. Just making sure that the quality and stuff is still the same. Because I noticed that it kind of fizzled for a second, the screen. Seems to be fine. Yeah, watch good clips. Yeah, good clips. Yeah. Make love not war. Exactly. Yeah, because it should have been left 80 years ago. War and stuff like that, because it's pretty much solves nothing. It causes pain and suffering. It achieves nothing pretty much in the last, and in the end of it, when it's all said and done, it achieves nothing. So yeah, that's just my view, and I think that's the majority of people Valens view too, that it achieves nothing. Yeah, I seen that too. There was a woman killed in Norway, and it's like in a small enough place in Norway. Don't know much about it. Seen videos about it. Well, not videos, but seen clips of it, but I don't know much more than that. So, but I've heard about it. I don't know what your man was doing or where he's from, but as I say, things that shouldn't be happening really. But anyway, we leave it there tonight. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll chat to you again Saturday. Hopefully, all going well Saturday. So yeah, thank you, everyone. Take care and good night.